welcome you all to our today's webinar, Exploring the Antiquity of Jainism in Asia, Africa, and America. Today, am I audible? Yeah. Okay, so today we are honored to have Dr. Nitin Shah, Mr. Manu Shah, and Dr. Jaswant Modi for our webinar. The speaker of today's webinar is Dr. Nitin Shah. He is a professor of anesthesiology and critical care, Loma Linda University, interim deputy chief of anesthesiology and critical care at the Tibor Rubin VA Medical Center. He is the past president of Jena Center of Southern California and past president of Anikant Community Center. His topic is compassion in action, and today's guest of honors are Mr. Manu Shah, CEO, MS International, Chief Giving Officer, Sarva Mangal Family Trust USA, and Dr. Jaswant Modi, gastroenterologist, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. So, before we start our today's meeting, I would like to give a short introduction about our guest of honors. Dr. Jaswant Modi is a retired gastroenterologist and entrepreneur and a philanthropist. While he contributes to many charities, establishing positions in universities around the world for Jain education in his passion. And Mr. Manusha is the co-founder and CEO of MS International, headquartered in Orange, California. MSI is the largest distributor in the world, offering countertops, wall tiles, flooring, and landscaping material. MSI imports material from 38 countries. He is a philanthropist and strong believer in education and literacy. As a as a founder of the Sarva Mangal Family Trust, he has sponsored and donated to many philanthropic causes over last 20 years. The trust supports over 30 US and India-based charitable organizations. Uh, Now I would like to give a short introduction about our speaker, Dr. Nitin Shah. He is a professor of anesthesiology and critical care at Loma Linda University and also staff at Tibor Rubin VA Medical Center, California. He is a past president of Jena Center of Southern California and founding president of Anikant Community Center. He has been involved in over 350 medical missions in other charities in 16 countries. He embraces Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy of life. My life is the message. He will share his secret of happiness while being compassionate over last 40 years. He wishes to motivate people to practice compassion in daily life. He hopes to build connections and will guide anyone and all to utilize his life experiences of giving to make a humble attempt to make this world a better place to live. So firstly, I'm really thankful that Nitin Shah sir, Manu Shah sir, and Jaswant Modi sir has given his precious time to our meeting. So, without wasting time, I would like to invite the speaker, Dr. Nitin Shah sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Can you all hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank
Sir.
you. Pranam to all, Jai Jinendra. Before I begin, I would like to offer my gratitude to the following people so that I do not forget in the end. Dr. Sulekh Jain, who arranged for me to make this presentation. President of All India Digambar Jain Heritage Preservation Organization, Nirmal Kumar Jain Setiji, Convener Ms. Joyashree Pawar, and Secretary Mrs. Neetu Jain, and all the officers. I thank Manubhai Shah and Dr. Jaswant Modi to agree to wake up a little early and join on a Sunday. All of you who have taken the time to join this presentation. And finally, I owe my presentation to thousands of volunteers and hundreds of thousands of people that we have been able to impact all around the world. Uh, I, this is my non-professional life story, and I'm going to go more or less in chronological order, and I will be mentioning a lot of names. If I miss anyone, which I will, my apologies. Who am I? I was born and raised in lower middle class family in Mumbai. Our heritage is Swatambar Murti Pujak Jain. That's how I grew up. I spent 4 years of my formative years of high school with my maternal grandfather and grandmother. And my grandfather is my hero. I learned a lot about ahimsa and aparigraha while spending time with him. He was a very ritualistic, staunch Jain, and yet very outgoing politically, sports wise, and others. So that is my upbringing. And then I went to Baroda to study my medical degree as well as did MD in anesthesia. After I graduated, I spent 5.5 years in Zambia. From there, I moved for a year to Zimbabwe. And before I left for Zambia, I married Sheila. She was also an anesthesiologist. And we have a son, Nitin, born in 1981. He was born in Zambia. And while we were there, Sheila developed breast cancer in 1983. At that time, we came to US on visitor's visa for her treatment. I did have a desire to stay in the US because that's one of the reasons why I left India. I wanted to do research, and the opportunities were not as great in India at that time. So while in Zambia, I mean in US, I sent 800 applications for a research position. I walked to all the hospitals in 4 out of 5 boroughs of New York City: Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, and Manhattan. Unfortunately, wasn't lucky. Went back to Zambia, moved to Zimbabwe. Well, the luck was to go even worse for me. In 86, Sheila's disease came back and came back to America for further treatment. This time, actually, I did not even have the desire to stay here, but it was her who convinced me to try again. And me and our generations to come will owe our life in the United States to her breast cancer. Did 200 applications and got lucky on the last day before we were literally leaving this country for good to go back to Zimbabwe and then to India. But the destiny had different plans. Dr. Robert Bedford offered me a research fellowship at Sloan Kettering Cancer Center for 6 months. What a luck. Sheila's treatment will also happen in the Breast Cancer Institute at that time, probably still today. And in 2 months, he sponsored me for green card, and the rest is history. 87 started at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center and New York Hospital at Cornell University. Started as a fellow and then went through my American training. Sheila finally gave up the fight, took modified Salekna, told everybody she doesn't want any more chemo, any more treatment. In November of 89, lived until March when she passed away. Luckily, my parents had joined me and my son Ethan before her passing. July 1991, I joined after I finished my training in the US, in New York, to Los Angeles. And that's where my journey escalates. Compassion, what is it? Many definitions, simple ones, spiritual quality called love in action. When I sent these invitations out, a lawyer friend, Mr. Niranjan Patel, did mention, Nitin Bhai, you should say love in action and not compassion in action. Different perspective. What did Lord Mahavir say to us? True compassion is summation of sympathy, emotional feeling of their pain and or suffering. And the key aspect is the desire to help the less advantaged people and help them in any way they can be. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what I'm going to talk about. Started in 1991 here, and it continues annually. Free community health fair. We offer basic services including blood tests, consultation with physicians, EKG, mammography, pap smear, dental cleaning, filling, extraction on site, eyeglasses, etc. Just imagine you'll have anywhere from 10 to 20 or more specialists under one floor, under one roof, and you can get that consultation done in a matter of few hours. It's almost impossible in the Western world, probably anywhere. And all services are free, open to all. This is the setup: drawing blood, entry, registration, medical consultation, and all other services are all around here. From then on, there was exponential growth in offering of free community health fairs in Southern California. It all started in 1993 with doing a first of 12 Ramsila Health Fair at the Ramkabir Temple in Carson. And we started that in memory of my late wife Sila and also very close family friend, late Rambai Bhakta. On an average, we used to do about 6 per year. And towards the end of this era, for me personally, my dad developed metastatic cancer, and he, knowing pros and cons, etc., refused all treatments offered, stayed peacefully at home, passed away in his own bed in May of 1998. For the benefit of people, I'm going to show you very few things that you need to do to organize a free community health fair. Is this any surprise? No, this is what it takes. One needs to have the desire, and there should be some people who are dedicated towards it. Most important are commitment and hard work. People need to make commitment to carry on what it takes, and no replacement of hard work. What I suggest to people is all communities everywhere have resources. Mobilize them. Everyone has that level of kindness and compassion within them. It's just a matter of giving some stimulus. And even if somebody says no, don't give up, because there will be change of hearts as we grow older, as time goes on. I don't think anybody is born with compassion in the heart. It is known, learn, and we all start practicing, seeing the surroundings, our family, parents, as we grow up. Well, can you imagine a law office doing a free community health fair. Yes, this is true. This girl, Sally, came to me with Sarah, who is an attorney who ran this office. And in 2011, we did free community health fair in law's office in Los Angeles. You know, if you'd have told me before that, I would have laughed. No, but it was a reality. We saw 150 people on that day. This is her husband and her secretary. It was phenomenal. Sorry, my computer glitch. Cardiologist consulting a patient, just an example. Artesia City had invited us to do one, and Miss Sally Flower, who was the then mayor, she's neither a doctor nor in any medical profession, and she's a mayor. What did she do? Look here. She is the mayor. Then this is her sister, who is a nurse. This is our community person, Mrs. Niruben Shah. And she spent all 8 hours with us there, helping anything and everything. Now, why do we need to do this? Health is the best wealth one can ever have. My apologies for the scratches on the screen. I have no idea how did they got there. But mysteries of life unresolved. It is in 1999 that I took a leap forward. Dr. Manibai Mehta and Vijaybai Chheda, Vijaybai is online, they are responsible because they've been trying with me for 2 years after seeing what I do locally, come to Bidra and help us in the international mission there. So it was 1999 when I went first time to Sri Bidra Sarvodaya Trust in Bidra, Kutch, Gujarat. Vijaybai Chheda, the then vice chairman and now chairman. These are all volunteers who had actually joined. This picture is from later on, not 1999. I've taken a lot of people to Bidra, and this is their operating room that was inaugurated in 2012, and we're doing 2 surgical cases there. They do on an average a mega camp in January. They see about 20,000 plus people and do 1,000 plus operations during that time. So what I like most about is the progression, the vision, and the expansion that they keep doing as per the need of the day. So they started as a Bidra hospital in 1974. Then they developed a hospital in Mumbai because they saw that they had to refer patients for that. 2001, when the earthquake happened in Gujarat, Kutch was the epicenter, and they realized a lot of people need help with the rehabilitation. So they developed JR Rehabilitation Institute in 2005. In 2007, I happened to have done a study about the quality, quantity, and the capacity, and all over India, and I found JR Rehab to be number 2 in the entire country of India. The first one was bigger and a little better, and that was in New Delhi. Forget the name now. Then they realized that there is need for nature cure, so they developed Ratan Veer Nature Cure Center. Going further, they developed Tara Wellness Center. And recently, I think 2019, they also developed JR Rehabilitation Center in Palitana. I have continued to be over last 20 plus years with Bidra Sarvodaya Trust. And we were fortunate that in 2018, with UC Irvine, University of California at Irvine, which is in Los Angeles, we were able to sign an MOU that they will provide up to 4 weeks of anesthesia services every year. And that continues 18, 19, 20. Of course, last year after that, thanks to pandemic, 21, we could not go. The other most fascinating thing that I have enjoyed being with Bidra is this. Can you imagine making and fitting a prosthesis on cows? And the good thing, the acceptance rate is 90%. And Mukesh Doshi, who is the director, has done a great job with this particular aspect. This cat was paraplegic, and this device that you see helps the cat walk. I was fortunate in 2018, with the help of Bidra, we arranged, and incidentally, it was during Thanksgiving time, we arranged to make a prosthesis for the turkey that was somewhere in Montana. Moving on to Jain Center of Southern California. My apology for a few slides which are a little busy, not too many. Jain Center of Southern California was started in 1979. Our first temple was built in 88. I served as public relations officer in 94 and 95, vice president in 2000, 2001, and president in 2002 and 3. Its expansion in 3 phases was started in October 2002, and I was privileged and very fortunate to be the president then. We worked as 17 committees for different aspects, led by Sumtibai, to complete 62,000 square feet cultural complex, which was inaugurated in March of 2005. Ramesh Doshi was our vice president, and Sok Savla was our treasurer. And of course, the team of 15 committee members. I personally learned a lot about engineering. And I think Manubhai mentioned just yesterday that I could be an engineer as well. Financing and working with community during this construction process. We had $460,000 in our bank account when Sumtiba and myself signed a $7 million contract with an American contractor, Jantosi Builders. And it was largely to a generous $4 million loan that Nara Bank offered us and gave us, for which Dr. Manibhai Mehta and I had signed. This was out of blue. We were really struggling because to get a loan from a bank is not easy for a religious organization, but we did get lucky. And then we saw the building. I will take you back just to explain a little bit more. So this part, if you can see my cursor, is the cultural complex. 62,000 square feet, including 20,000 of underground parking. And this is the temple. That's 13,000 square feet. That was phase 2, started in 2006 October, completed in 2008 October. And these were the 3 pratimas which were there before, and largely looking as Swatambar. And this is what we achieved during my vice presidency, and I was just happened to be there. It's all a lot of people's work. We had 605 family members in 2000. And we sent out a survey because we had purchased some neighboring lands and asked every member about what would they want to see there. How do we want to grow, keeping in mind our different sects, etc. We did our best to incorporate most of the suggestions. We analyzed them, presented the report, etc. And Ramesh Doshi and Shailesh Desai were my partners in crime to do this when I was vice president and Sumtibai Shah was the president. This is what we said in April of 2002, the summary of this. Please bring ourselves above our sectarian beliefs. Stop at the level of main Jain principles of Ahimsa, Anikantvad, and Aparika. We are all Jains first. So let's keep JCSC at that level. Let's rise above and we practice our sectarian beliefs in our homes and otherwise. We have built, we believe, a very inclusive Jain center under one roof. We have accommodated all different sects. And remember, there are only two sects who believe in Murti Puja and worshipping. And this is how we incorporated them. So this is our current Gabara. These are the three original idols which we had from 1998 and still there. And we added two other Swetambar idols, and here is Lord Neminath and Lord Shantinath Digambar idols. Yes, religiously, one can say comments, good, bad, others. This is what we as a community felt. It continues to work for last 15 years. So I really think that the group that we had and created certainly worked. Taking you to another prized possession that we have, and I had a little role to play in creating this into our temple. We call it replica of Palitana. My apologies, not we call it. People called it in 70s when we acquired them. It's a 117 years old, one and only wooden temple that was acquired by JCSC in mid 80s and was finally resurrected and brought to JCSC Cultural Complex in June of 2006. A lot of people were involved in bringing this. I wasn't even here in Los Angeles at that time. I believe Birendra Shah, Sandra Shah, Dr. Manibai Mehta, and many others. Now, we have these 1600 pieces without any drawing. A biggest jigsaw puzzle to join the dots without any drawing. How do we do this? We tried, it was three of us, myself, Dr. Manibai Mehta, and Ramesh Doshi. We explored several places, and ultimately, Manubai Shah, who is our guest of honor, came through, and they started cleaning and attaching in their warehouse in Orange, and they will call us. Is this good? That's good. And finally, the stone man did the wooden work. So this is it, one and only. It resides in that cultural complex. When you enter, this is what you see first. I believe we are very, very blessed, happy, and proud to have this in our place. Moving on to, during my presidency, we faced two challenges. One, we were considering applying grants, etc., but we couldn't really apply because most of the places do not offer grants to religious organizations. And second challenge, when people give donations, many corporations match those donations, like Edison, Bank of America, Morgan and Stanley Company, General Electric, and we did try to write about the non-religious work that JCSC was doing, especially the health fair and other humanitarian activities. However, we knew that wouldn't work long. So we felt a need to create a non-religious organization. So that's where ACC, Anakan Community Center, was founded in 2005 as a non-profit organization for non-religious humanitarian activities. ACC promotes cultural, educational, and humanitarian activities around the world. And many of the work that you will see going forward from here have been done under ACC, but not all. We worked with many different organizations. To start with, natural disasters. You've seen, known, and heard about plenty of them. And every single time, yes, I'm not kidding, every single disaster that has happened around the world of significant magnitude, Anikant Community Center has partnered with many different organizations. Going on from 2005 to 2020, Katrina flood, Kashmir earthquake in Pakistan, India, and Afghanistan, Haiti, Japan tsunami, Philippines, Nepal, Haiti hurricane, Puerto Rico, Kerala, Indonesia, Chennai, California wildfires, Cyclone Fani, and the last one for now, COVID-19. And not only we raised funds and donated, but in several places we have even made visits, starting with before the days of ACC 2001, Kutch earthquake. Many people from here visited that area during that time. I did not go at that time, went later and worked on patients with uh, who have been affected with the Kutch earthquake by Dr. Manibai Mehta, Bhikubai Patel, Rasmi Shah, Popat Savla, Vijay Chida, others. 2005, when Kashmir earthquake came, we thought of doing a fundraiser for the survivors of that. And as a follow-up, before actually our fundraiser, they asked me to visit, and I was fortunate to be in Pakistan, seen the epicenter. 2010, when Haiti came, Dr. Susil Jain, who is a past president of Jaina, which is a federation of Jain associations in North America, he called me, hey, Nitin Bhai, can you put a team together? We will go to Haiti to help people. So team of 14 went there with Ramesh Bhai, Lata Ben Chapsi, Naina Patel, and others. 2015, after Nepal earthquake, me and my wife Kinna went there. We, under Anekant Community Center, also helped Bidra Trust to establish a rehabilitation institute at Siddhi Memorial Hospital in Kathmandu. And during our visit, we settled that after visiting the university and this hospital, we recommended me and Kinna that this place will be better. And then Vijaybai and the Mukesh Doshi's team, they took over and established a facility there. Can you ever imagine a flag of India and flag of Pakistan on the same flyer? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, first time ever in Los Angeles. We were able to do this in 2006. And we had singers who volunteered their time from Pakistan and from India. We raised about $67,000. And after the expenses, we had $55,000. And this is what is my visit before that. This was the fundraiser. This is the audience, and 70% were from Pakistan side and 30% were from India side. Singers and people. And this is during my visit. This particular place, if you can see my arrow, or it's top right when you're facing the screen. This place, I was told, had a school that had 500 students and teachers. And during the earthquake, all of them done. They all passed away. Oh my God. These are members from Pakistani community. We donated 70% of the funds to them and 30% of the funds to Bidra. We personally tried to connect with the Rehab Institute in Rawalpindi that I visited with Bidra Sarvodaya Trust, because Bidra had the experience of helping earthquake people, survivors. Unfortunately, politics did not work and we could not carry that on. But we were fortunate that we could do that in Nepal, that I'll tell you in a bit. This is with the invitation of actor Son Pan. If you happen to know, this is where he is. Ramesh Bhai Shah from Los Angeles, Naina Lataben Chapsi, who was the president of Jaina at that time, and Dr. Susil Jain, we had joined a little later. This is the place, they were all in tents, and this is the tent in which 150 people slept, and there were another smaller tents for 50 others. This building is the hospital, and next to that was operating theaters. This little tent is the only air-conditioned tent. In May in Haiti, the temperature used to be, or it is, 130 degree Fahrenheit, and no running water. So we spent 6 nights and 7 days working long hours. We helped lots of people. There's only one running tap, which is fresh water. So Ramesh Bhai and Naina, who were volunteers with us, their task was to give all 10 of our professionals 12 bottles every single day filled from that single tap, because if you don't drink enough water, dehydration. And every week, 150 volunteers were changing, and invariably, 2 to 3 volunteers will collapse because of dehydration. This was a very humble, eye-opening experience. I will never forget this. It was unbelievable to see those people and help them. And to top it off, there were 4 showers for 200 people. So I literally took shower twice, and see what Ramesh Bhai did. Took a picture of mine while I was doing that. That evening, actually, we were visiting the military base from India in Haiti. And we had a great time last evening before we moved on. Visiting Nepal, sees respected Acharya Channaji. This quilt was prepared by Jain youth, so we were fortunate to take and donate. This area is another story like Pakistan. The difference is when the earthquake hit, it was not school time, but there was a school of 50 plus people, children here, and that collapsed. And these are some of those children. One family was nice enough to give their garage open up for their school to continue there. She is Miss Radha Podal. She does phenomenal work there. We're associated with her to help people. And this is what a rehab center started by Bidra Sarvodaya Trust at Siddhi Memorial Hospital that was supported by JCSC, Jaina, Anekant Community Center, etc. Tender Care Community Outreach Program has been since 2008 under Anekant Community Center to help people with food. Weekly breakfast, around 100 people in homeless in Santa Ana, monthly dinner to 200 homeless in church in Long Beach, groceries to needy families in shelter, breakfast once a month, and making sandwiches for homeless. And this is done right on site in the church. All are served Jain vegetarian meals. They also go and visit people in nursing home, their homes and hospital. And one patient said, I feel so special when you come to visit and offer words of encouragement. It energizes me. You have helped me accept what I have. You are a blessing in my life. Prafula Ben, Smita Ben, Jaina Ben, Suchi, and Darshana, they lead these efforts. 2007, remember now we are in formation of 2 years of Anekant Community Center. We had a landmark year. We started 3 major initiatives that continue today, 14 years now. Surgery camp at Kalidas Hospital, Viara. India. Thanks to Bidra Trust, learned a lot and always keep looking for where do we go next. And this is one place. We only do 3 days of annual camp for hernia, hydrocele, and hysterectomy surgeries. It's the most efficient camp that we have started so far. Out of all these things that we've done in 16 countries, we do on an average 50 operations per day. Then, time to give back. I went back to Zambia after 22 years and did a mission. Thanks to Bhikkhubhai Patel, actually, he is involved in Viara camp as well. We were in another town called Bardoli in 2006 doing a mission. And Mr. N.G. Patel, who is from Nigeria and Ghana, but origins from Maua near Viara, he took us to this hospital. He had donated funds in the name of his father-in-law and mother-in-law. Kalidas is his actually father-in-law. And he said, this place will do what you want. And we have not turned away from that. 2007, did first mission to Zambia. Again, the Sadia Foundation and B.U. Patel said, we will sponsor it if you do the work. So we went there. We stopped after the first one, but restarted in 2013. And now it has become an annual mission. And locally in Southern California, we started NIM Health Fair in 2007. So this is the planning of a surgical camp. This is their office where we had the first meeting in 2006, January. And the board of trustees assigned Dr. Ajay Desai, who is a homeopathic doctor and our go-to guy locally. And he's been the one that we have been working on. On an average, it is, I like to say business terms, return of investment of time and money. Best so far. $40 for a hydrocele operation, $50 for a hernia, and $75 for hysterectomy. If anybody wants to do this in any part of India and the world, we can do it. We have set up these 2 operation theaters in this little operation theater of Viara, and it's mind-boggling about how efficient we can do. 2,324 surgeries in 14 years, and all these patients went home next day. And we started expanding by adding arthritis clinic, giving free eyeglasses, and so on. Zambia, this is the Lusaka Eye Hospital where we did cataract surgeries. And I will try if this video works. Thank you. This is a courtesy of Dr. Saraya, who is my classmate and also an orthopedic surgeon. These 2 pictures to our left are from the first day in 2007. We learned only day before that it's likely to rain. So we had to quickly create this, and it did rain. And as some people may believe that the rain on day 1 or beginning of something is a great sign of a good sign. And it looks like that has worked for us. On our day 1, we saw almost 800 people and registration going inside. This is, we've done it in a tent only one time in 2012. And at that time, we also started doing free surgeries that I'll talk a little later. And this is in 2015. On an average, we see over 1,200 people over one weekend. We provide facilities for vital signs, blood tests for sugar, hemoglobin, lipids panel, and hemoglobin A1C, all done on site with finger pricks. So you get results right away, you get consultation, advice, and we are done. We also offer pap smear and mammography for women, EKG, bone density assessment, carotid ultrasound, eyeglasses. It has kept growing and growing and growing. In 2012, ACC was fortunate to join hand with Lestonac Free Clinic and offer free on-site dental extractions, fillings, and cleaning during the weekend. On an average, we have treated 250 patients per year so far. From December 2015, we also started doing free surgeries. Yes, it is not easy. It is not heard of as a private organization to go and do that. Yes, some hospitals do free surgeries here and there, but nothing on a consistent, regular basis. Thanks to Dr. Bharat Patel of Alapio, who owns Beverly Surgery Center, and he offered the place. And we were doing once a month every 3 months. But thanks to Sarvamangal Family Trust, which is Manuvai, who joined our hands and donated from 2020. So now we do it once a month. We do about 7 to 8 procedures once a month. They could be GI endoscopies, hernia hydrosils, urological procedures, or others. And it continues to go well. Why do we do all these things? Well, Albert Einstein said, only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. Moving on to Claremont Lincoln University, 2011, two past presidents of Jaina, Dr. Sulaik Jain and Mr. Dilip Shah, called me and asked to help with Jain academic education that International School of Jain Studies was starting at Claremont Lincoln University. CLU was affiliated with Claremont School of Theology then. Jain classes were taken by Professor Philip Clayton and Ms. Brianne Donaldson. She is now a chair at UC Irvine, and he has moved to Willamette University. We organized 3 conferences: 2012, Bioethics, Religious and Spiritual Perspectives; 13, Women's Perspectives in Spiritual Traditions; and in 14, Business Ethics. We needed to raise $25,000 for each conference. It did take some efforts in those days, but we were fortunate. And the CLU and CST both, believe it or not, but ask a community person, me, to lead all these 3 conferences at an academic institution. That's really not common. Hasn't happened, but yeah, they said, no, we want this to be an active partnership. To top that off, the president of Claremont School of Theology, of which I'm a board of trustee now, Professor Dr. J. Kwan, when we, by the way, with CLU, we got separated in 2014. The CST is not associated with them. And we have a Jain presence for teaching at CST. And the president called me and said, we want a community person to teach Jains. We were originally thinking of having Professor Philip Clayton teach that graduate class, which continues from 2016-17 even now. And so I said, okay, who can I go and look for? He says 2 requirements. One, person has to have a master's degree because it's a graduate course. And second, the person should be teaching something somewhere in the United States so that the person has a knowledge of academia. And I even joke, well, I'm a medical doctor and a professor at Loma Linda University. Can I teach? And he said, yes. But of course, I didn't take up that challenge. I wasn't brave enough for that. But we found Professor Susma Ben Parek, community member, who has been teaching that ever since. So that's CLU CST. And during that time, we started negotiating with University of California, Irvine in 2012 and signed with them Sri Parswanath Presidential Chair in Jain Studies. Doctors Jaswant and Meera Modi, Harshad Bhai and Raksha Shah, Rajesh and Nita Shah are the lead donors. Since then, we have Jain presence in over 26 universities, thanks to Doctors Modi, who have been Bhamasa for this movement. And there are many others, especially I will mention our president of Jaina, Mahesh Bhai Wadar, who has contributed in UC Riverside, and Prem Jain, Bipisa, there are a lot. I will not go more into this because I would like to save this for a presentation for Dr. Modi's, hopefully sometime in the future for the group. Moving on to Durban, South Africa. Ajit Bhakta and Vino Natraj, friends, they asked me to do mission in a Hampshire hotel where they are based. And they live in America, but they had started this in 2010. We have been there 4 times. And this is a setup for a cataract surgery in a hospital, Umfumulo Hospital, where they never did any surgeries except cesarean section. So literally from ground zero, scratch up, we were able to establish this. And I would like to mention specifically Dr. Deepak Mehta, who is on the call. He is my brother-in-law, and he was the director of MJ Institute in Ahmedabad at that time. And I needed somebody who can do cataracts at a lightning speed. So he says, I will send this young man, Vipul Prajapati. He was 28 years old at that time in 2010. And he brought Dr. Nirav Modi and few others. And in 4 years, in 2 years, with 4 trips, we were able to do 773 cataracts. No problems, no complications. Since then, Vipul and Nirav have been with me to several countries in last 10 years. This Unfortunately, they stopped working last night for a variety of reasons, but this is after the eyes were opened on the next day following cataract surgery, the happiness expression that you see in this South African women. They were just dancing away. Uh, 2011, I also lost my mother here from a cardiac disease. And following year, I had to make progress. I've been single for 20 years and found somebody to share my soul with. And I owe this to our trip to South Africa. I wanted to show Kinna what I do and whether she can put up with my craziness of doing all these trips and things. So I wanted to give her the exposure. So took her to South Africa. I won't go into stories some other time when anybody is interested, but we had real challenge with one first trip, and she was phenomenal in helping us with taking things when I couldn't travel from Washington. Anyway, in our last trip, I proposed to her up in the air, 7,000 feet, September 21st, 2012 at 1 a.m. on a flight from London to Johannesburg. And she said yes and brought out both hands for the ring. So naive is my wife. Thank you, honey. And that's Kinna. This is a picture from Bhavnagar in India in 2014 doing endoscopy. I've been to many cities, mostly in Gujarat, but also been to Simla and South India and done medical camps there for a variety of years with variety of group of people. So point is, willing to go anywhere. This is my second most efficient mission, and that's in Jamaica. Dr. Kiran Patel of Florida asked me in 2013, can you help with people who need cataract surgeries in there? And obviously, I had the experience of South Africa under our belt. So we said yes. And the rest, as they say, is history. We have made 5 trips. Starting with 225 cases in 5 days, we did 368 in 3 days in 2019. This was a 4-year at that time girl in 2015. She was blind from birth, had one eye done in 15, second eye done in 2017. Our cost $30 to $40 per cataract. Then moving forward to 2019, and I call it a blessed year because somehow or other it looks like God knew that we will be grounded in 2020. So they wanted us to escalate in 2019 to pay forward. These are the trips. These are all mostly outside trips. There's only one I will mention about local, but otherwise, and we continue to do locally 6, 7, 8 missions in Southern California, including NIM Health Fair. January, we were in India, did it about 9 places, various camps. So over 5,100 people in 12 days. In March, we were in Ensenada, Mexico, dental medical screening and eyeglasses, 255 served in 1 day. April, Zambia, I don't travel now every year, but Arun Arya leads that team. 1,439 served in 5 days. Jamaica, we also do eyeglasses. So besides cataract surgeries, we gave 703 eyeglasses. May, Nigeria, surgery and eyeglasses, 2,200 served in 4 days. Dr. Uday Shah was with us and Dr. Atul Kharia. July, we did first time during Jaina Convention, a free community health fair. August, in Ghana, we saw 5,094 patients. This is the most efficient camp out of all these countries when we went first time. It's really amazing what we could put together in 5 days for Ghana. In November, we were in Albania, and so 4,924 people. I will run through some pictures. This is from Rajpipla. That is the place of India where we have seen highest number of patients in 1 day and the most poor people. You will cry when you look at some of these people. You might wonder whether this child has ever had any shower even or not in her life. Dr. Saraya doing knee injections, his wife, anesthesiologist, Bina, and Dr. Ambani is a urologist. These people were waiting to be seen for eyeglasses, eye checkup. This is Shraddha Hospital. Dr. Vijay Patel arranged this for us there doing surgeries. Ensenada, this was done with the help of Rotary Club of Newport Irvine, Mr. Padmanabh Sainiji. Seeing this child in Ensenada. This is in Jamaica, crowd ready to be seen. Deepak Patel checking eyeglasses, eye numbers, prescription, and John is the optometrist. He comes with us. This is his son, and he brings glasses and he does all the things needed for giving eyeglasses. This was about eye care to Jamaica. Zambia, he's Arun Arya. This plane is flown by Mr. Iqbal. Since 2015, we started flying into this plane, taking 4 people at a time to a place called Mambi Lima. It is an hour flight from the nearest city. And this is a really poor place. This is all children. We have been going there every year now for at least 2 or 3 days. It's even scary sometimes. Dr. Uday Shah in Nigeria, he's a dentist taking care of dental. 2019 Jaina Convention on July 4th morning, we did dental and vision mission. 55 patients for dental, 52 people for reading eyeglasses. Dr. Atul Kharia gave his office at no charge to us. Western Act Free Clinic arranged patients. Mr. Ed Gerber is the executive director, very wonderful human being. We get along very well and we argue also. It's fun. Wadar family, Mazbai, Wadar, and Usaben sponsored that event. Dr. Karia treating a patient in his clinic. Ghana, this child needed operation on his undescended testes and hernia. This is surgeries going on at Ghana. Albania, this is our team, Dr. Sood, Dr. Gupta, Mrs. Sood, Roque Vora, Chanel. Chanel has been, she's only 29 at that time. She has been with us to Zambia, Kenya, India. Unbelievable girl. Three girls happy after getting their glasses. Crowd in Albania. Coming to 2020, the last mission, and then we've been grounded. Team of 22 people, moved to 11 cities, all kinds of missions, so 5,096 people. Highest one day, 1,511 at Rajpipra. Did 200 surgeries between Viara, Bidra, and Borsat. Opportunities during COVID. I'm towards the end, probably another 5-7 minutes. We had been to India, Ghana, Nigeria, Albania, Mexico, and Jamaica on missions, plus one in Zambia in 19. And now all of a sudden, no international missions due to pandemic. Well, we rested for literally 5 days. I would come home at 4 o'clock and bug my wife. And then Saturday morning, I said, enough, we need to do something. And the first call I made was to Manubhai Shah to talk about Chromebooks that I'll tell you in a minute. But before that, I was aware of United Six Mission, who were cooking 3,000 to 4,000 meals every single day and giving out to several people. They did it for about 4 months. We thought that because of online learning need that's going to increase, why don't we give Chromebooks to children who can't afford, underprivileged? We started that in 3 phases. Phase 1 was 500 to 4 schools. Phase 2, we partnered with Jaina, thanks to Mahesh Bhai and the team, and we gave about 1,081, and then we continued to other people. Grocery serving, Artesia is where I learned first. Jain Center wanted to do it, so we joined there. And in Norwalk, we do it with Joy of Sharing Foundation. Sunday, cooked meals at Sanatan Dharma Temple. I'll tell you a little bit. Monthly blood drives. There's an acute shortage of blood in this country right now. And the last, that was just yesterday. We finished about 14 hours ago, the vaccine. This is United Sikh Mission. Bhavik is the person who is a social impact director at Sarvamangal Family Trust and MS International. This is the Chromebooks with Sarvamangal Family Trust. We gave away, this is in Bina Park School District where Jain Center of Southern California is. We were given it to about 30 plus schools all around the nations, including Canada. Nisit Choksi, helping with the Artesia, he's the one who I made the first call, and he says, yeah, so 2 of us started this. There are about 6-7 people who volunteer regularly there. We learned a lot and tried to help people in other places. With that, Jayasbhai Shah, the Jain Center of Southern California president, and Hemant Bhai Dosi, vice president, Samir, and others. Ajay Bhai Saab, who coordinated the things, and this couple is from Bina Park School District. They volunteered all the weeks, 7 weeks that we gave. This is in Sanatan Temple, the Sardia and Joy of Sharing Foundation. We did for 21 weeks, 400 grocery bags every Sunday. Asa Gandhi, who is from Sahara and Joy of Sharing Foundation, Nisit Bhai helping here. And you know the need? This lady with these 2 little girls in bright sun walked 1.5 miles to come and take groceries. And I was just leaving and saw them. So I stopped them gave them a ride. They don't speak English. So managed to get them to their place, but tears were flowing. What is the need? What did COVID do to us? Blood drive, yeah, every 2 to 3 months. Now that the requirement for India travel has come down, I can donate. We've been doing that since April of last year. Dr. Parson, volunteering for food cooking. This is the Sanatan Temple's kitchen. He's Prabhu, he and his wife Anandi, they lead this. We cooked 2,000 plus minus meal every Sunday, distribute to 35 different organizations. There's a team of Adir, Srenik, his son, Rishi, and Varun. And it just keeps growing and growing. Then, well, that's local. Well, what can we do outside? And we found a way to do 2020 cataracts in Ghana. That was my dream last year. I had asked Dr. Bo, and when pandemic started, I said, you know what? We will not be able to travel. And guess what? He said, you support us, we will take care of. They have done so far about 1,600 cataracts. We raised that much money and donated. And then Nigeria, they literally asked us that, can you help us for 300 cataracts? Because we want to do 1,000, we have funds for 700. So we started raising money. And the Sardia Foundation and an anonymous donor are the largest donors, and we raised money for 500. And we send that. They will be finishing just in a day or two those 500 that they have committed. This was as late as yesterday. This is our team who did the COVID vaccines. We gave 670 vaccines yesterday at Sanatan Temple. This is Adir who led the team. This is Parth and his wife Uchita. They are the pharmacists. They brought the vaccines for South Asians and others. Sarvamangal Family Trust arranged that with them. And then Manubai called me and I asked Adir, and the rest, as they say, is a success story. This is the waiting area. They are going to go inside. This is where they are drawing up. These are the 3 volunteers from my hospital, Tibor Rubin VA Medical Center. And these are the injection sites where the team from Parth was giving. Let me see if this works. No, it doesn't work. I will try in the end from a separate file, but no worries. Manubai and Rikaben and Dr. Hemaben Parekh. Incidentally, when we started the free clinic, she's the one I called first. Dedicated volunteer, never says no. And coming towards the end, but I still have to give you the happiness things. What are the future plans? Weekly meals program will continue. We're coming with art, international art contest on compassion in action theme. Vaccines every Saturday for a few weeks. Health fair probably in April or May. iMatter is coming up with an art summer workshop. Ghana mission we have planned in September. We will finalize in July whether we can travel or not. Jaina plans to give Chris Miller as leading this team with Dilip Parekh, and we all join vegetarian or vegan meals on Ahimsa Day and Thanksgiving Day. NIM Health Fair in November, India missions in January, and with the help of Vora, we've started a Parigra Foundation, and our first project is going to be free second medical opinion. This is the iMatters flyer that is going to be in summer, going to help 150 visually impaired people. This is international art contest that we'll come up with. Jainaben Shah is leading this effort with the help of Sarvamangal Trust and Society Foundation and others. And finally, if you all believe in Dalai Lama, the purpose of our life is to seek happiness. What do? Secret of happiness. This is a Chinese proverb where I have never been yet. If you want to be happy for an hour, take a nap. Happy for a day, go golfing. And if my wife is listening, she's with her daughter, please don't see this. She doesn't like this, but if you want to be happy for a month, get married. Want to be happy for a year, inherit a fortune. Ladies and gentlemen, money will keep you happy only for so long. She's my niece Naina in Zambia. So if you want to be happy for a lifetime, go help someone else. Action may not always bring happiness, but there is no happiness without action. And I sincerely hope that this works. This is a fun video of 1 minute and I'm almost done. $362 missions of various types in 16 countries, and true happiness comes from serving an unknown. Thank you for your time and patience.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really an eye-opening lecture. Am I audible?
Yes.
For the first time ever in the history of our webinar, we have attended this kind of a lecture because every time a speaker comes and talks about archaeological or based on something museums or historical topics, but for the first time a speaker has opened up about his life achievements and the challenges you have faced so far, and it was really an eye-opening lecture. You are inspiration to us, sir. It was really an interesting lecture, and this lecture is more about community involvement, like people like you and the community living in US and other parts of the world, how they are connected with each other and how they are contributing towards society. So this lecture is really an eye opening for us, sir. We are honored to have you here, sir. Thank you so much for that. So let's move on to the question and answers round. Dr. Elsie Jan sir wants to ask a question. Ji, sir.
Do you want to hear from the guest of honor first or the question answer?
We can hear from the guest of honor, sir, whatever you like, sir.
Why
Okay.
don't we do that part and then do the question answer
Sure,
in
sure,
the end?
definitely. Definitely, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, shall we start with Jaswant, sir? Or
Doesn't
Manu, sir?
doesn't matter. Manu bhai, are you ready? Jason bhai, are you ready? Anybody? Go ahead.
Good evening, and thank you, Dr. Nitin Bhai, for showing everything in last 1 hour what you have done. Good morning and good evening to all friends across the world. First, we hope all of you and your family members are safe from COVID-19. While this pandemic has made negative impact on our lives for over a year, let us see two positives coming out of the pandemic that are relevant in today's context. It has made us more tax savvy and it has made us more contemplative about life. On this note, excited to share my views about our religion. I don't need to explain Jainism to all of you. The pride and glory of Jainism is not just relevant historically, but is also quite prominent in contemporary times. Some facts over here, according to National Survey in 2018, in India, Jains are the most prosperous religious community in India, with 70% of its population in the top 20%. Jains are one of the richest minority in the USA, and they have the least divorce rates among Indians living in the US, who already have a divorce rate of less than 3%. The question is, why are we doing so well? Attributing our success to how ingrained the 5 vratas are across our generation. The vratas of non-violence, ahimsa, truth, satya, non-stealing, brahmacharya, and aparigram. Our culture and traditions have been tested. The passage of time have been able to slip through Jain followers, shift through Jain followers. Some of the facts laid out earlier about Jain community success can be treated as markers of this hypothesis. Even the acts of fasting and the ability to complete a vow to fast for many days showcases faith and determination. However, me and my wife, who is sitting next to me, believe a 6 vratas needs to be focused on within our community for the greater good. The vrata of compassion or karuna. I believe it is the 6th vrata that renders the 5 other vratas with potency and grace. As many of you have fasted for many days during Paryushan, so I have. Although I felt a sense of accomplishment after completing my multiple fasting, a question always remained in my mind. How did this help anyone else? What did I do for those in need? Our community and religion of 2021 needs to focus on acts of compassion, more so than before in order to stay relevant and add value to the world community at large. The younger generation looks at us to pass on values that resonate with them in this day and age. Hence, compassion or karuna needs to be our message to them, not just through prose alone, but through actions. I don't want to make any strenuous effort. I don't want to make any strenuous effort to liberate myself from the bonds of worldly existence, the cycle of birth and death. My request to Almighty, give me life again and again with education, ability, technology to serve others endlessly. Dr. Nitin Shah is our mentor in medical mission around the world. We work closely with Dr. Jaswant Modi in many humanitarian causes. One of the prime reasons Jainism has survived and prospered is because our forefathers were able to keep the religion in sync with their current time. It is our responsibility to put that conscious effort in doing the same. With that note, I thank all of you for inviting me to this conference. Thank you. Keep Karuna, compassion in action. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really nice to hear from you, and we are really thankful that you have accepted our invitation, that you and ma'am has attended our webinar. We are really thankful to you, and I hope that in future also we will keep your support and your presence in our future events also. So thank you so much. So I would like to invite Dr. Jaswant Modi, sir. Yes, you were saying something. Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I forgot to introduce my wife. Okay, all right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Uh, now I would like to invite Dr. Jaswant Modi, sir. Ji, sir.
Jai Jinendra, I hope you've been able to hear me well right
Yes.
now.
Yes, sir.
Mir, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to say a few words. Along the line, what Nitin Bhai has been doing and Manu Bhai has been doing, I am doing few things that complements to see what they are doing it. Our Jain religion, as we all know, has been preaching many different basic principles like ahimsa, aparigraha, and anekantvad, and we know that that has been put into an everyday life in many different ways. We know Mahatma Gandhi, who started the non-violence movement, and now that is the forefront all over the world and achieving many social causes and independence. We have started a Jain education at many different universities here in US, and the main purpose of that is to spread the message of nonviolence and aparigraha uh, at the university level and uh, undergraduate, graduate, and a PhD people to learn who we are and what we do as well. Along with the Jain education, which also creates and preaches the legacy of many different ways. Our Jain Center of Southern California became the first Jain center to turn vegan, and at all our Jain function now we serve only the vegan food. That happened with the help of our community, executive committee, and the board, and it became vegan in 2018. And we know that uh, that's a form of hinsa that now we are getting away from it. Similar way, climate change, we know all over the world, is a major event, and ahimsa, if we practice, that will help a climate change as well. Our Jain Center of Southern California became the first center to go solar, and we installed this solar system over at the center. Currently, we are in the process of making an established Jain chair at many different universities, and this mission will continue. We are at many universities with the help of many of my colleagues, donors, friends, especially Dr. Sulek Jain, who has been inspiring uh, along the way. And we have 24 Tirthankars, and we have established many endowed chairs. I believe we are at 12 Tirthankars, and we will reach to 24 Tirthankars at many different universities. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really nice hearing from you, and I hope that not me, and on behalf of my organization, we hope that we will keep hearing from you and Manu sir and Nitin Shah sir. And it was really nice hearing from you, people like you, how you are contributing towards society. Thank you so much. Nitin sir, can we move to the questions? Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you, Georgie, for doing this. I appreciate it.
Thank you so
Ravi,
much.
yeah, Ravikant ji had raised a hand.
Uh, Ravikant sir, can you hear us?
Yeah, he unmuted. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Well,
Hello, Ravikant sir, can you hear us?
Hello.
Yes, sir. You're audible.
anyone else?
LC Jain sir, Dr. LC Jain sir, can you hear me?
Hello.
Ji sir.
Uh, First of all, I want to give a lot of felicitations to Dr. Nitin Shah. We were learning about his name for a very long time, and today we are so lucky to listen to him and uh, have the presence his talk in this valuable webinar, and lot of information is given to us by him, and he has talked about all the faculties, whether it is medical faculty, education faculty, religious faculty, or any other faculty, social faculty. So he has given a vivid description, all the details he has given. We are highly obliged to him. We have very high regarding question. There is no that one thing is there about the connection of people from Pakistan. How you could connect so many people from Pakistan, because normally we know that there is no Jain organization in Pakistan. And similarly, likewise, in other countries also there is no Jain organizations, but especially I am uh, having some anxiety about organizations who have in Pakistan. And secondly, you have told about one Anekant Bhavan. So it is simply the name of the Bhavan, like Anekant Bhavan, or some discussion, something about Anekant, as we know from Jain literature, is also taking place there in that Anekant Bhavan. So these are the two things. Of course, there are so many things, but I don't want to take your very precious time. So kindly give me some information about such a thing about my anxiety. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Jain, for your question. With regards to Pakistan, I happen to visit and connect with people just for the humanitarian work that we needed to do for the earthquake survivors. And I'm not aware of Jain temples, etc. But while we are doing the courses and classes, we do know that a couple of people from Pakistan are interested in learning more about Jain faith. So we do have some connections with them now, but we haven't explored whether there is a temple, not, etc. And to your second question, Anikant Community Center is a name, but it does not have any building or any facility. It is a name that we gave to a non-profit organization, and we do different things under them, obviously. But when we need a place, we either go to Jain Center of Southern California or we go to Sanatan Dharma Temple and organize things like this fundraisers, I mean, this disasters related activities, etc. But otherwise, we go and work in different countries and we use that as a non-profit organization. But there is no building as such. We came up with the name of Anekan because it's my personal desire. I did not cover, but I was involved in when the negotiations were happening in 2002 and 3 with California Pomona, which is a university here, about establishing Ahimsa Center. And I happen to be founding sponsor, and now, of course, it has become much larger, thanks to Dr. Modi and Prembai Jain and Bipin Shah. But the point is, so there was Ahimsa Center. Now we were starting this non-humanitarian. So we wanted to use the second principle of Jain, and that's where the Anekant comes from. Actually, it is from a youth who gave the name that, okay, fine, you have Ahimsa Center, you want to pick another one, why don't we just do something with Anekantvad? And then finally, this year, we have been able to start Aparigrah Foundation also, We have just registered it. We haven't done activities, but it was my personal desire to do something with the triple A's. And I do have that, but there is no physical place for Anekant Community Center. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Ravikant, sir, you want to ask question? Can you hear us? Or any other question? RP Jain, sir. G. Sir, unmute yourself first. G.
Jai Jain to everybody. Dr. Shah, you stirred a lot of emotions in my mind for your charitable work of Karuna across continents. And also because you mentioned those names which have stirred memories and emotions. It was Dr. Dheeraj Harilal Shah, that time from Buffalo, now in Dallas, who introduced me to Birla Sarvodaya Trust and some of the humanitarian work being done by you. Your name was mentioned by him to me, and I still cherish that memory.
Thank you.
And also the message of compassion that has traveled and needs to travel worldwide. I would only like to share with my friends here that I have made out a will where 75% of all that I own today in this material wealth will go in charity and not for any family member's use. That is my dedication for my life I've lived as a Jain. My respects to Dr. Modi, Dr. Nitin Shah, and to Manu Bhai. And my remembrances to my dear friend Sulekh Jain, Prem Jain, Dr. Sushil Jain, and Dr. Dheeraj Shah, besides Dr. Prem Chandgada. Jai Jinendra.
Thank you, Bhai Sahib. Very nice comment. I would like to give you what Manu Bhai says, that he says, I want my last check down. What he has before he passes.
Thank you so much, RP Jain, sir. It was really nice hearing from you. You always attend our webinar and you keep supporting us and our speakers. I'm really thankful to you. Thank you so much, sir. Now, I would like to invite Sugar, who's really excited about our today's lecture because he wanted to hear from you, sir, Nitin, sir. Ji Shugan ji, you want to say something? Sir, unmute yourself first. Ji.
Surya.
Ji, Shugan ji.
During his trips to India, we used to meet often in Delhi and do whatever we could to him. Now the difference between Nitin Bhai and others is that most of us teach and preach Jainism. But very few people like Nitin Bhai, they practice also. And that makes him unique. We all talk of anukampa, compassion, friendship, etc. But after the lecture, we do opposite things. Why you see Nitin Bhai, for last 20 years that I know him, he is committed to, practice compassion in action. He offers his services, medical expertise of his and family at no cost. And I have seen him operate and, visit us like a true messiah, not a doctor, with the interest of the patients in his mind. I wish we have more Jains like him, who, because we all talk of non-violence, Anekant and Aparigraha, but how many of us practice it? So Nitin Bhai, thank you very much. You are like a mentor to me. My area of compassion is different. my area of compulsion is education in schools for the, economically weaker section. So you are like truly again mentor for the youngsters to learn and practice, walk the talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vaisa. We all play our part in life. We are all destined to do things.
Okay.
We all can do better.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to invite our Adarniya Babuji Nirmal sir to conclude the session. Ji sir.
जय जिनेन्द्र, सबको जय जिनेन्द्र मेरा। नितिन शाह साहब और आपके सारे साथी, आपने वास्तव में बहुत ही बढ़िया अपने विचार प्रकट किए हैं। जैसे हमारे डॉक्टर सुगंध जैन ने कहा कि लोग सुनते तो सब कुछ है, धर्म की सब बातें सुनते हैं, सिद्धांत की बातें सुनते हैं, अपरिग्रह की बातें सुनते हैं, अनेकांतवाद की बातें सुनते हैं, परंतु उसको प्रैक्टिस में लाने की बात जो है सब नहीं कर पाते। ये नितिन शाह जैसा व्यक्ति ही कर पाता है, जो सब तरह से सर्वांगीण रूप से अपने जीवन के अंदर में जैन धर्म की शिक्षाओं को पालन किया है, उनको फॉलो किया है। नितिन शाह, आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूँ। पूरे हमारे ऑल इंडिया दिगंबर जैन महासभा जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है उसकी तरफ से व्यक्तिगत रूप से आपने जो अपने जीवन की बातें बताई है वो सबको प्रेरणादायक है। उनको जो प्रेरणा जो मिल रही है सब लोगों को आपके बातें सुन करके, उससे मुझे बहुत खुशी है नितिन शाह जी। और आपका इसी तरह का सहयोग समाज को मिलता रहेगा तो निश्चित है कि समण जो सभ्यता है उसका जो पुनरुद्धार होगा। और आज जो सारी जगह विश्व में जो हमारी सभ्यता फैली हुई है, समण सिविलाइजेशन, उसकी खोज होगी और उसके बारे में सब लोग न्याय उसके प्रति करेंगे, ऐसी मुझे आशा है। खास करके आपके अमेरिका में, चाहे नॉर्थ अमेरिका हो चाहे साउथ अमेरिका हो, जहाँ पर पूर्व काल में जैनिज्म पूरा व्याप्त था, उसके बारे में अभी सब लोगों को पूरा ज्ञान नहीं है, सब लोगों ने जानकारी प्राप्त नहीं की है। तो मेरा यही आप सबसे निवेदन है कि उसके बारे में आप जानकारी प्राप्त करें। और मुझे तो बहुत चीज़ें इन दिनों में, जब हम ग्वाटेमाला, पेरू, मेक्सिको गए हैं, हमें बहुत चीज़ों का अनुभव हुआ है, बहुत चीज़ों की जानकारी प्राप्त हुई है। तो उन सब चीज़ों को लेकर हम लोग रिसर्च का काम कर रहे हैं। नितिन शाह, आप जैसे आदमी को हम लोग पा करके आपके जो सिद्धांत जो आपने अनुकरण किया है वो महान किया है, और आपके प्रति जो दान देने की जो भावना है और परोपकार की जो भावना है वो गजब की है। हम आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देते हैं और आपके दीर्घायु की कामना करते हैं। अब जब कभी इंडिया आए तो आप हमें मिलने का मौका दीजिएगा, और मैं भी अमेरिका जाऊंगा तो आपसे जरूर मिलने की चेष्टा करूंगा। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ में बोलिए अहिंसा परमो धर्म की जय, बोलिए जैन धर्म की जय। धन्यवाद। इंटरनेशनल सेमिनार हो रहा है जिसमें मैं बोला हूँ।
Thank you so much, sir. And we can't end the session without listening from Sulekh, sir, because he is like a medium to us who is connecting our organization from with the different Jain community of the world.
व्यक्ति अभी बोला था।
So, Sulekh, sir, you want to say something?
सुन रहा था।
Sulekh bhai, unmute yourself. Unmute करो भाई साहब।
So we can't hear you.
Unmute Sulekh ji.
Yeah.
Ji.
Now, thank you, Nitin bhai. You increase my life every time you speak. At least give me 2 more years of my life. So you are wonderful. And Manu bhai and Jason bhai and so many of our diamonds, really diamonds. They've been working very, very hard to put Jainism in practice. So I'm so grateful working with such a beautiful team, and especially Nirmal Sethi ji. You've been organizing these seminars for the last 7-8 months. Every Sunday morning, please join, because they have done huge amount of work in bringing awareness about the Jain antiquity. They have looked at Asian countries, they have looked at our neighboring countries, and also in American countries. So it's so much beautiful. And I think we need to continue this dialogue. One especially, I just want to say, Nirmal Sethi, we should have many of these dialogue, people from your side talking, and also our many more. We will bring so many ladies, so many our bane, they are doing wonderful work. So I think we like to organize, we like to share what kind of work they are doing, even our youth. So next time when we have a seminar during the next 2-3 months, why not we bring some of our shining youth as well. So with that, I want to thank all of our Nitin Bhai, with whom I work practically on a daily basis. Jason Bhai, yes, he is not only Bhama Shah, he is more than Bhama Shah. And and MS International, Manu Bhai. So I'm grateful and thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. If anyone of you want to say anything about today's session, you are most welcome for that. Meena ma'am and Siddharth Kumawat sir, anyone?
Meena man, unmute. वो चली गई.
No, I'm here. It took a while to unmute myself.
Okay.
Okay. Jai Jinendra, thank you everyone. And it's unbelievable to see, I've known Nitin Bhai from the day one he started but to summarize this many years in an hour, I'm sure he missed out quite a few ones, especially the dear to me was the Kenya one. He missed that one out. But I'm sure there are so many other ones which are missed out from the list. And we are truly thankful for what you have done over the years and to inspire so many people. And all this with a lot of community support, especially from Dr. Modi and Sarvamangal Trust, Rikabin and Manubai. And they are onto so many missions and inspiring so many of us to continue so many things. And I'm really thankful for what everybody does to the community, and especially Sulekji to coordinate everybody together. He brings nations together. So I'm really thankful, Sulekji, for linking everyone. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone from the whole Jain community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay. So, yes, just one, sir. G. Sir, unmute yourself first. We can't hear you.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to bring everybody's attention that along with ahimsa and many other principles that our Jain religion has it is also said and displayed in form of the art over and above lectures and many other activities. In our community here, we are fortunate to have two people who have a deep insight into the Jain art, which is Dr. Narendra Parson and Meena Ben as well. And with their help, in about next 2 to 3 years, we want to arrange an exhibition of a Jain art over here in the Los Angeles area. And we will be reaching out to all of you to help us in organizing, maybe show us where we can get on loan some Jain artifacts, manuscripts for a display to all over the world. And we will plan to do that, or we are planning to do that in next 2 to 3 years. We were going to do sometime this year or early part of the next year, but because of the pandemic, the whole thing has been delayed for another 2 years. But please keep that in mind. We'll be reaching out to all of you for that cause. Thank you very much.
थैंक यू सो मच सर. राहुल जी, आप सिद्धार्थ कुमावत सर को अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं क्या?
I'm sorry.
No, sir, I'm talking to the host. Rahul ji from the Zoom channel. Rahul ji, Siddharth Kumar
was
sir.
able to do.
जी जी.
Okay. Jai Jinendra. First of all, thank you to Dr. Nitin Shah sir for sending me this webinar link. And through this link, though I was known to Shah family, Modi family, but this has given another eye-opening session to me. And though I am not a Jain by my family, my birth, but very fortunate that because of the work, I am unconsciously following the Jain principles. And the COVID, which has come very challenging to everyone, I would say being engaged with Modi family, being engaged to and known to Dr. Nitin Shah sir, Sulik Jain sir. So that has given me strength to live this challenging time, as I just landed a week before the pandemic in Canada just by myself. But then things started moving in their places. So thank you very much for today's session also. Jai Jini.
Thank you so much, sir. So now I would like to end the session. Firstly, I would like to express my gratitude to Jaswant sir and Manu sir for sparing your valuable time, sir, and your presence has graced the occasion. And Nitin sir, we it was really an eye-opening session, sir. You are an inspiration to us, and I hope that in future also we'll keep hearing from you, sir. Thank you so much for that. And I'll see you all next Sunday. Professor Hamid from Pakistan, Lahore, Punjab University, Lahore. He's the next speaker on next Sunday. So I invite you all, and I'll keep sharing the link with you. And I hope that I see you all on next Sunday. Thank you so much, Jai Janan, to everyone. Thank you.